Hello everyone and welcome back to Cooking at Home. My name is Josh and today we're going to be making one of my many favorite pasta dishes to make because that's what I like to eat, a lot of pasta. Now, I'm not really sure what the name exactly is for this dish. We're just to keep it simple, we're gonna go ahead and call it an Alfredo pasta with chili powder and shrimp, something like that. But essentially it's just going to be a bechamel pasta with chili powder, shrimp, some crostinis in there, herbs, lots of wine. Guys, that being said, let's hop straight to this video and let's check it out. Let's kick it off by mincing our onions, mincing our chives. Now with the side of your blade, just crush your garlic. Or you can dice them. However, for my recipe, I'm going to actually blend them with the little hand blender. So if you don't have a hand blender like I do, no worries. Just mince your garlic, mince your onions. You're totally fine. Don't even worry about that step. That's totally optional. Now we're gonna go ahead and work on our pasta. And don't forget to season your blanching water with salt until it tastes like the ocean. This is going to give our pasta a very nice little layer of salt right at the very end. Now we're gonna take 2 boxes of fettuccine pasta and we're just gonna blanch it in our blanching water for about 67 minutes. And it's gonna stick even though we're gonna shock it in some ice water. Speaking of shocking, take your pasta and just shock it in some ice cold water. Now let's go ahead and start working on our sauce. So take the same pot, just make sure you wash it, clean it, and then start using it again. Now we're gonna wrap our thyme and our rosemary with some twine just to keep them together because we're actually going to just be taking it out. Essentially what we're making is like a little tiny little tea bag essentially, you know, minus the bag, just the twine. And this is actually gonna make it a lot easier for us to just pick it out all at once instead of like fishing for it, you know what I mean? That way it's not a hassle, you just grab it and dispose of it. Now we're gonna go ahead and just grab our basil and we're gonna pick off 12 of the largest leaves we can find and just set them aside. Now let's go ahead and start working on our sauce. Now heat up your pot and just, not that kind of pot, okay? Dude, save that for later. I'm telling you, dude, that's for after cooking. Add 1 cup of canola oil, half a diced or minced onion, 5 crushed garlics. Now saute that for about 1 minute. This gives our garlic time just to start bleeding out and get all those juices going. Now add 3 tablespoons of chili powder and just stir it in and cook it off for about 30 seconds or so. Now the reason that we add all these components just one by one is because we're trying to create layers. Anyone can just throw shit into a pan and just call it food, but you know, it's much better if you just layer, take your time with your food and just let it come out naturally, you know, let it actually be good, you know, take your time. There's no need to rush it unless you have somewhere to go. In other words, I would still say don't rush it. It's just you're gonna mess it up somehow. Just take your time, okay? Trust me. Now throw in your herbs and just saute them for about 30 seconds. Again, we're trying to create layers. Sit back and enjoy the aroma. Now take your wine. I'm going to be using some Josh Cellards. Add 1 cup of wine. Now just reduce the sauce by half. Add 1 cup of butter. Now sift 1 cup of your all-purpose flour. Now I always sift my flour just because I think it's easier to work with, but you don't have to. However, I really recommend it just because it makes it so much easier and all around better. Now just cook your roux for 1 minute. We're trying to get rid of all that raw flavor that's still in the flour. It's time to add your milk and your heavy cream. We're gonna be using 2.5 cups of milk and 2.5 cups of heavy cream. The reason that I'm going for a 50-50 ratio is because it just makes the sauce a little more lighter and not so heavy. But if you just wanna use straight milk or you wanna use straight cream, either way it comes out really, really good. But I'm telling you, just give this a try. If you want to make more pasta tomorrow, you're gonna have a lot more milk and a lot more cream just waiting in your refrigerator to use for the next day. Add 12 pieces of basil leaves to the sauce. Now dice 8 ounces of Fontina cheese and just add it to your sauce. Shred 4 ounces of fresh Parmesan cheese. Add 1 tablespoon of salt and pepper and 2 cups of chicken stock. Now if you don't have any chicken stock and let's say that you just have vegetable stock, I'm not gonna lie to you, don't use it, okay? Yeah, it's stock, yeah, it has some flavor, but it's still not chicken flavor, okay? So unless you just can't eat chicken or just don't want to eat chicken for your own reasons, then yeah, go ahead and use another different type of stock. However, I recommend that you stick to the chicken stock because it will completely change the flavor profile of this recipe. Once all the components are incorporated into the sauce, just take out the herbs. Now take your hand blender and just blend all your components together. Now it's time to work on our shrimp. So take your pan, well, put your pan on the stove, you know? Unless someone pisses you off, then take that pan, you know what I mean? Grab a saute pan or a cast iron pan and just heat it up until it starts its smoking point. Now add a drizzle of canola oil to your pan, add your jumbo shrimp, throw in a few pieces of crushed garlic, 2-3 pieces of thyme and rosemary, season your shrimp with a pinch of salt and pepper, 1 tablespoon of butter, and just deglaze it with some white wine. Now it's time to work on our grilled crostinis. So take a cast iron pan or your grill, grab your bread, drizzle both sides with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. And just make sure that all of that seasoning, all that oil is nicely incorporated into the pieces of bread. Now take your bread and just put it on top of your pan or your grill. And we're looking just to toast these bad boys and just get some nice little grill marks on it, just to make it a little sexy, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? No one wants that. You want your bread to be sexy, you know what I mean? You don't want it to be whack, pretty much. Don't make it whack, make it sexy, put some grill marks on that shit. Now just garnish your pasta with chives. Now just finish your pasta with a little bit of fresh grated Parmesan cheese on top. And there we go, it's time to eat. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was Cooking at Home. My name is Josh. And hey, if you haven't seen my margarita video, definitely go check it out. It's super dope. Give it to your kids, minus the liquor. That being said, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video.